Dear students, welcome to the second week of Smart City course. I am Dr. Priyan Singh and I will be co-instructor of this Smart City course along with Professor Nilima Satyam. I am specialized in transportation engineering, especially in payment materials. To know more about me, you can go to my website www.priyanshsingh.com. As far as second week is concerned, we will be looking on the smart governance and digital infrastructure. In this module, we have divided the content into the 5 subtopics, and these topics are e-governance system, ICT in public services, command and control center, citizen participation and data governance. Our focus in this week will be to move beyond the physical infrastructure to the digital backbone of the city. We will explore how data, sensors and policy converge to create a smart governance in context of smart cities. So our first lecture will be on e-governance system and frameworks. To understand the importance of e-governance, let's see a scenario of an office in 1950s era and in the present era. If you compare both the offices, you will see one office is full of old files, books, cupboards, everywhere you will see data. Where in the second scenario, you will see all data is automatically analyzed and you have the information, ready to use information in the form of a dashboard. To understand more about the importance of your smart governance or digital transformation, let's take an example of ticket booking, train ticket booking system. If you take the ticket booking system in 1995 and compare it with today's system, in 1995 you need to stand on the physical queues, you need to fill a physical form, and most of the time you will find out when you reach to the counter will be closed, the clerk will be angry, and most of the time you end up without getting tickets and frustration. This whole ticket booking experience may take 4 hours of time and may be higher than that, maybe multiple days. However, if you compare to today's system, there is an IRCTC booking websites and app. You can go to IRCTC booking website or app, you can log in there and then you can select whatever the train you want to book and then the type of seat category, and then you make an instant digital payment and you can book the ticket in less than minutes. If you compare both the process, we were booking the ticket maybe in 1995 or maybe in today scenario for the same train, for the same physical infrastructure. What differences had occurred is the interface of booking the ticket. Previously, that interface will work using the physical components, but now that becomes smart. We are using the smart interface. We have the system where the data can go 2 ways, and that's how we are able to make the ticket booking in less than minutes time. One more important thing, we may have some digitization and we may have e-governance. Now these two words are very much used for the same sense. However, these two words are totally different. The digitization, let's try to understand by an example. Maybe you digitize all the books you have in the library. So digitization is just scanning that manual, whatever the manuals, whatever the book you have, and then save them in the PDF format. But there is no accessing of those data, no automation of those data. An e-governance system is actually a total digital transformation where you not only save your data in the digital format, but also validate, also make decisions on those data. So this digital transformation is what e-governance need, not the digitization. Because if the process what you will make is bad and you digitize it, you will just get a bad digital process. So instead of just digitizing, we want a re-engineering of the process. The e-governance is the application of the information and communication technology that we call ICT for delivering the government services or exchange of information, communication transactions and integration of various standalone systems. The e-governance core objectives are efficiency, that means we want to reduce the process time of whatever the things you are doing. Second is to make the transparency. You need to make non-complex simple rules, and that should increase the transparency. Then the accountability, so tracking, and you should know who has done what works, what time is being taken at what stages. And then the convenience, like the services should be available 24/7. The smart governance is actually the transformation from bureaucracy to service, and the SMART in context of this transformation is the acronym of SMART, where S means simple, M means moral, A for accountable, R for responsive, and T for transparent. The simple word here means the simple rules before code. For an example, you can remove the need of any gazetted officer's attestation from any document, and you can have a self-attestation which will be enough to upload or to apply for anything through the website. The second is the moral, that means technology to reduce the corruption. So whatever the e-governance platform or the form filling platform will be there, that will use the software related algorithm or software based algorithm which will have FIFO, that means first in first out format. The clerk cannot choose to hide any file, or the clerk cannot hold your files. The third acronym A goes for the accountable. Whatever the file you have, that will have a digital footprint. Every click, every approval and every delay is logged in the system, and you will able to know who held the file for what amount of time. The R stand for responsive, that is based on whatever the SLAs or auto escalation procedures are there. The system already know that your file is there since how many days, and based on whatever the rules are there, maybe 7 days or maybe whatever the period is allotted, the system can auto generate or auto escalate a complaint to the higher authority or to matter to the higher authority, and the decision on those cases can be taken by the higher authorities. So there is an auto responsiveness in the system. The last is T for transparent. You will able to track your file like you track your order in Zomato or Swiggy during your food delivery. So the smart governance is about driving efficiency, integrity and the center-centric services. The smart city has 4 pillars. The first pillar is the people itself, that means the citizens who are using the services and the staff who are managing the services. Staffs are first citizen, so that is why the citizen and the staffs is kept in as a single pillar. Then you have process. The process means how you are going to do certain things, like if you want to book the railway ticket, so what will be the process of booking this railway ticket. So this is basically an algorithm. So algorithm is the part where you first need to do your re-engineering in order to ensure the flow or the algorithm should capable of taking the optimum decision in optimum amount of time. Then you have technology. Technology is based upon the hardware or softwares. Hardware means whatever the computer systems, and softwares, that means your programs and everything. Even the data centers, control command centers, everything will come into the technology pillar. Then you have resources. Resources means how much budget will be required in order to make that system, to make that app. And also the laws which will bind a process, which will actually control the process or flow for the citizens. Now, whenever you have this pillars. The pillars will interact with the government. The 4 pillars interaction with the government happens through the 4 interaction models. These models are G to C, that means government to citizen interactions, like you pay taxes, book tickets, download vaccination certificates. So these are all our government to citizen interaction. The next interaction is government to business interactions, like the tendering or e-procurement process, the GST, etc. Then you have G to G, government to government interaction, which is like police computer talks to passport computers. Instant verification happens because of this connect. Then last interaction is based on the government to employee, that is between the government and the employee of the government. This is to maintain, manage internal workforce, payroll, pension, training, etc. So whatever we have different pillars which are citizen, employee, businesses and government, these all will interact. So citizens will interact to demand or to provide some services. So citizen will demand service and government will provide that services. Then the employee will demand for proper management through getting good to getting their salaries paid, etc. And government will demand a good management for the services from the employee. And similarly with business, government interact for to provide and regulations to the businesses, and businesses will interact government by paying taxes, GST and etc. So these are interaction models in any e-governance format. So e-governance actually evaluated, the first step of this evaluation was the computerization that happens because of digitizations of record. All the records were converted into the Word and Excel and other e-formats within the offices. Then the networking, the offices is being connected through LAN or WAN for G to G interactions. The third is the online presence. The information is being presented in form of static websites from where you can have the contacts, you can have the information, you can download the forms, PDFs. Then you have online interactions. You can download the form, you can email your query, you can post your filled form. And the last step is the transactions, where the complete services is online, including the payment. That means you apply in the online format, you whatever decision need to make, that will be in online format, and ultimately you will get the decision online. So whole process is online, is a transaction. Based on the maturity of the model, you can have different stages of e-governance. The stage 1 is where only the information is available. So that will be in the form of static website. One-way communication will be there. So you may have some contact list, some information or some PDFs which you can download. The stage 2 is the interaction state, where you may download the form and send that form or print whatever the information is there. So here one touch will be there, that will be through email or forms. The stage 3rd will be the transaction format, where you apply, pay and receive online. So there will be no physical touch points actually happens. And then we have the stage 4, the transformation stage, where we have seamless workflow for any work that need to be automatic, proactive services. We have an example of Estonia, where the birth certificate get auto generated. If any baby has born in Estonia, hospital actually logs this information, and that information looked by the municipal corporation, and they auto generate the birth certificate, and whatever the subsidy or whatever the childbirth allowance need to be given, that automatically get credited on the parent's account. So here the parents get the subsidy or the benefit as well as the birth certificate even before applying for the birth certificate. Okay, next is the service oriented architecture, SOA for the smart governance or e-governance. So modern e-governance is built on service-oriented architectures. These service-oriented architects are to provide loose coupling. So the tax system doesn't need to know how the bank system works. It just spends a payment request. And also the system needs to be reusable. That means they used to verify the module maybe from Aadhaar. So the system, maybe it's the tax, maybe it's the land system, or maybe it's the health department system. They all will able to use your Aadhaar data in order to verify your identity. The smart governance also based on single sign-on, or in order to provide you or facilitate easy or simple login to the government service portals. So previously the problem was there was a lot of portals maybe related to property tax, water bill, your telephone bill, driving license portal. So everywhere you need to have a registration ID or then a password. These passwords and registration ID make the procedure of logging and making payment or availing the services complex or difficult. So that is why this single sign-on, that means one ID for all the government services came into the picture. If you know, in India we have Jan Parichay and Meri Pehchan, two types of IDs to access all the government services, more than 1000 services in the government portals. Then integration of treasury and banking. So whenever you want to access some facilities, there will be a cost which you need to pay to the government. And until unless you have integration of the payment gateway to your whatever the portal or app is there, your services will not be seamless and you need to do the physical transactions. So that is why it is important to integrate the treasury and with banking. So the step of integrating will be the user selects whatever the bill they want to pay, and then they will be redirected to the payment gateway. Then bank will authenticates whatever the user is there, and then money will move from whatever your accounts will be there to the government treasury code, and a receipt will be generated automatically. Now government have some digital gaps also. These gaps are related to the infrastructure, literacy and language. The related to the infrastructure, like in rural or remote areas, there is no internet facilities. Based on these scenarios, the reach of e-governance or digital governance will be limited. Then the literacy, that some citizens which are not educated enough will have hurdle to use these type of apps or information, and they will not able to even use the smartphones. That is also a kind of hurdle what you have with e-governance. Then you have the language barrier. So like all the websites or whatever the apps are there, they are mainly available in English. However, in India, as we speaks in many languages, we use many regional languages, so people may not be aware of these languages. So whatever app or infrastructure we make, that app or infrastructure need to be vernacular. So in order to get away with these issues or these gaps, the government can have a common service centers where villagers or other people who didn't find these services nearby, or if they find the services are complex to access, they can get help from these centers. Then the next step, very important step, is re-engineering, the process re-engineering or business process re-engineering. For an example, let's see the passport seva things. Before, if you see, the police verification happens physically, which takes actually months to complete. Nowadays, we have, after process re-engineering, we have new modules, or you can say new methodology to do this police verification. The police officers have iPads to verify address instantly. Data flows digitally to the print center, and the time which was earlier the average time of 45 days now reduced to less than 7 days of time for police verification of passport. Then the other major complexities are the interoperability of the standards. So you can have multiple websites or multiple data may be available in the XML or JSON APIs format. Maybe your data will have different date format or maybe other standardization issues. So maybe some organizational barriers, that means department may not agree to share the data. So these issues also need to be addressed or hard. In order to share the data and protect the citizens from the data sharings, in India, government has three major rules. One is related with the IT Act 2000, where the recognition of digital signatures and electronic record is there. Then we have Aadhaar Act 2016, where we have targeted delivery of the subsidies. Then we have Digital Policy for Data Protection Act 2023, Digital Personal Data Protection Act in 2003. Let's take an example. So, if a citizen pays their property tax online, but the receipt must be signed physically by the clerk and mailed. This stage of maturity, which state of majority it is. So, you can see the services is partially available online, but there is need to have a physical touch. That means you need to sign and then send the data. So this is actually the example of transaction level, not the transformation level. Mobile governance scenario in India. So in India, actually government has a Umang app which have unified mobile application for the new age governance and have access to more than 1,000 services. The advantage of these type of apps are the GPS geotagging for attendance inspections, camera integration for the evidence, etc. Also in India, Government of India has started the cloud governance. So the GI or the Government of India cloud is actually to provide server support to the every department without hosting the physical servers everywhere. So national clouds actually provide these type of servers access to the department or the regional centers. The benefit of these types of initiative is scalability. They can handle the traffic spikes during exam results or during the major events, and there will be a lot of cost saving. Then the localization. So for localization, that means to provide services in each and every language of official language of India. So Government of India have launched a AI Bhashini, which is actually a AI platform to translate 22 scheduled language of India in real time basis. So these kind of platform can be used to translate whatever the user's native language is there. So one question here rises, does e-governance increase trust? So a kind of yes, because it reduces bribery, because no face-to-face contact is there, and also it increases the transparency. But a big no if system fails and kind of hack event occurs and data get leaked or user data get leaked. Then the trust erode faster than the manual system. So that is why these kind of system need to be secure, need to respect the users privacy, and then only trust can be built on this kind of system. So in lecture 1, we have learned about how e-governance will process reforms, not just computers, and we have seen the e-governance evaluated from information, then interact, transact, and then ultimately the transformation, that means full digital governance format. We have challenges based on digital device and interoperability, and in future we may use the AI or mobile first and cloud based services to fill these gaps. So that is all about this lecture. Thank you so much.